Howdy, folks. Nick Tockert here with the Historical Fencing Guild. And before we get started, I want to remind you the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe. Both were upside down when I primed them for this, but we're making it go. The Fighting Axe, and the Simple Sword are quick, easy manuals to learn how to sword fight. I'm laughing at beloved Cindy Kep in the chats. If you're not watching this, watching the chats. Anyway, turn on those chats, folks. Simple, easy ways for anyone to learn how to sword fight. That's what we're here for, folks. We're also made possible by our amazing Patreon sponsors, folks like Cindy Kep, who's already joined us in chat. While I was setting up, hence I was laughing so hard I couldn't find my headset. And we are right back, folks. If when you're done with this or in another tab, because I understand this is a lot to see on a given day. Whew. Hold on. You can't see my lovely face. Alrighty. How you guys doing? We're just going to get the ball rolling. How are you doing? This has been a really, really exciting, interesting week for me. Barreling up to some nerve-rattling stuff, and we will definitely get into that. But first, let's talk, because there are a couple things I want to get on about, and I'm hoping we can, hi Cindy, hoping we can make things go. First off, this video and its ongoing series will be, each one ends now a little bit before 10. This is because of the timing of some new medication I'm on and the after effects. So I will have to adjust slightly. I can't do the we're having fun run over because unfortunately the timing of my new medicine is a little precise. Secondly, it may affect some of my output and planning while I adjust in the next couple weeks. To those of you who don't know, I've been prescribed an anticonvulsant. Now, if you watch my hand, you will see for the first time in years it's barely moving. Even with the bracing. I couldn't do that. So it's already working. The nerve pain is cutting down. The price means I don't get any caffeine anymore, which is a religious level, almost impact for me. And I don't have my evenings, because once I take this med, I get it's just better to go to sleep because it greatly affects my balance. So instead of messing with it, I take my pill, I crash. Cindy, we got Thesis in the house. Hold on. I'm sorry. Evening, Thesis. Yay! Cindy Kep says, yay, I hope it works for you. It already is helping, and they're going to be slowly upping the dose. So this is good news. What this means is, while I won't be my way late into the evening self, I should be able to put more things together and work throughout the day, because I'll be getting more of my morning time, and without the pain just playing like you're normal when you're in a good deal of physical nerve pain is one of those things that draws a lot. Now, I've had some people, let's see, hope it works. Yeah, that stuff can mess with you, but if it does the job, then woot. Do what you gotta do, brother. We will be here no matter what. And you know what? I have the best viewers in the whole gosh darn world. This may affect some of my other programs. I'm talking because they're talking about renewing a second season of Dice Dames and Dudes, which I won't be running, which is probably better given some of the other side effects. But it's sort of up in the air. I'm just trying to see medically how I adjust, especially since tomorrow starts the next big jump. And then, of course, I have some stuff. Now, I was asked offline by some individuals, why am I talking about this? Nick, this is a sword fight show where you're supposed to be talking about knives and swords and how to go, answering people's questions. What's the deal? This isn't a personal vlog. And no, it's not. But I believe if I am honest and open about these Cindy Kim says, may you dodge the nasty side effects. So far, I can. Hey, Johnny, you are absolutely right. And you are just awesome beyond words. Johnny Cage is one of those people who, if you're going to go on and look at other people's art, it's, there's a gambit because everyone's in the middle somewhere. And some people make you feel good about yourselves, and some people remind you just how far you need to go if you ever want to be better. And Johnny Cage is definitely one of those people who is an inspiration to try to get better. The dude, your line work is so fluid. Take care of yourself though. And hi, Johnny. So we're all up top. Cool. So now let's get rolling on some stuff. I do have a bit of a trainer, and I want to talk about something that I usually talk about, but I like to come back around to. So once we get over this little thing, the reason I'm telling you guys this is, one, I have people who have to deal with their own adjustments, physical limitations, whatever. It's really easy to say, "Hi, I'm Chad Venflexi, and you have problems, but I can help you." Until you've had to deal with a physical limitation, you really don't know what it's like. I hate to put it out there. Oh, you're too humble, believe it or not, Johnny. For all your goofiness online, you are an amazingly talented individual. Okay. But I want to be there to help. And I notice I've been kind of scatterbrained coming up. That's some of the other side effects. Not of the meds, but of needing the meds. So I'm hoping that this is going to allow. I see your comment. I'm going to get into that. I'm hoping this allows me to make more non-live stuff during the days, because I'm getting more hours and more active hours back. They just happen to be daywalker hours. And if that's the price, right, folks, I'm giving up coffee. That's a sacrifice. But we're going to talk. We're going to talk about a lot of things. And I just wanted you guys to know what's going on with me, so you feel safe asking me questions that might tell me about you. Okay? That's the only reason. We don't seem to have any bots today. Let's keep that going. And I'm a little quicker on the banhammer today, if folks understand. Now, thesis put out, I'm having to adjust to getting older and training someone from the ground up. One will help the other, thesis. The best thing you can do is really always come back to the basics. People think that accomplishment is a ladder. Accomplishment is not a ladder, okay? Getting good at martial arts is not a ladder. It's not vertical, first off. It's going to fluctuate. You have highs, you have lows, and it's spiraling around a pillar. So you keep, along one side of the pillar is this whole row of gates. You're going to go through, I bet you do it so well. You're going to go through a lot of these gates. And different systems have them, but one of my favorite gates is referred to as the gate of the fool. It is the point where you've learned enough that you don't know how much you know, how much there is to learn. And you keep coming back. And the only way to get beyond that gate, move on to the next, is to really start from the ground up and go back over. Because we have this idea, and I'm seeing the comments. We have this idea that martial arts are about learning to be good enough to unlock this whole tech tree where you learn the secret art of Rubiai Shabranigdo or whatever. Yeah, okay, I'm going to throw a random Slayers callback. I'm okay with that. No. It's about getting subtly better, okay? It is an art, okay? And you can't buy it. You can buy tools and make it easier, but you can't buy the art. And this is something people don't get. Okay? I review products. I'm going to talk about another product I'm thinking of reviewing. I was hoping Trelena would be on, but if not, I will point it her way and ask for her opinion. But it isn't the toys, okay? When you learn, you can teach. I've taught everybody everything from $300 high-end fencing equipment, beautiful schloggers and things, to literally wooden dowels I got for less than $1. What it's knowing how to make it go. And I use this broken language very, very deliberately, where because I want people to understand the importance of simplicity. I'm not going to come at you and be like, the secret is to master the blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, use a whole bunch of foreign language and esoteric jargon. There are a lot of teachers who can do that for you. And if you're looking for that jargon and that odd elite kind of approach, it's there. And if you want to go far enough, at points you'll have to study and learn it. But hi, Frog G. But at the end of the day, from my approach to teaching is I want to distill things down. That's what my book is. That's what my system is. That's what my approach is. And when we get to Thesis, who's training Foxy, I'm having to adjust to getting older and training someone from the ground up. Right now, we're doing Tai Chi and light stance training. That, folks. Okay, so yeah, Frog Gina. If you're going to, if you're training, that is exactly. When I talk about training, the first thing I talk about is the safety. We discuss how safety works and what we're doing. I also explain that I may touch a student. I'm going to explain why I'm touching them, when, if they're comfortable, before I do it. Okay, everything has to be above board because consent is key. And if people don't respect your small boundaries, they won't respect your big ones. I've had some recent dealings with this. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll find that phrasing real familiar. Boundaries are important. But understanding them when you let them down, when you let them up. But you have to really go from the ground up. So first you teach somebody how to stand in such a way that they're balanced. Now, female balance is different. So I'm really, really going to tell you, Thesis, if you have the money to acquire it, it's not terribly expensive. There's a book called The Armored Rose. It's by Toby Beck, I believe. Tobibeck. Let me look at this real quick. I really think, yes, The Armored Rose by Toby Beck. If you're training women, you should at least read it. You don't have to remember it. You don't have to memorize it. But I do think it is a fascinating book, and you can find it on Kindle. It's all over the place. It's good enough. I haven't felt the need to write a similar focused book yet. Now, Thesis said, like Tai Chi, some Tai Chi Chow. Chi Sao? Okay. Push hands? Now, see, I love push hands. Push hands is a great way not just to learn to strengthen it, but they learn their ranges. They learn how their body moves. They learn how it feels to deal with opposed force. Training with opposition is vital, or else you get this bullshito where the guy's like, I wave my hand and I know no hands repel somebody. Oh my gosh. Now I've seen some strange things done with martial arts, but the body still is required as the vehicle. Oh, okay. See, we get to learn something. Push hands is Tai Chi and Chi Sao is Wing Chun, a similar exercise where you and your partner feel each other's movements. I've actually studied enough Tai Chi that I routed a version of how I personally drill the simple sword in very similar motions, and I combine it with things that I've developed from doing a lot of CPI over the years, being crisis prevention intervention. So that became muscle memory. So I've integrated it into my sword work because my muscles already know how to do it. Excellent. And he explains that. Cindy says, okay, we're groovy. Now, like, read it critically, read everything critically, take what you can. If you disagree with something, put it aside. But a lot, especially for the armoring aspect and understanding the weight distribution, because women have different center of gravities. Absolutely. No, absolutely. That is something I do later. That's where I like to pull out smaller knives. Knifey comes out. I love to play push hands with Knifey. Now, why Knifey? Why is this? I have dozens of trainers, some that are much beloved. Why do I come back relatively quickly to Knifey? Well, Knifey, my dear friend here, and that's done in tongue in cheek, is modeled loosely after a kitchen knife. And of the knives I'm likely to encounter of size in my environment, a knife roughly 6 to 8 inches long is probably, with a point of some sort, is probably in any given kitchen. So if you're going to train with a knife, training with one that you're most likely to encounter really helps. Oh, what's this? I thought I was having to adapt because I have screwy joints. I do, but some of it's because my trainers have been dudes. Exactly. Exactly. Shorthand. Oh, give me a moment. We went shopping today, so I'm still braced up. I took my elbows off, but okay. You see two fists, alike in dignity, except there's a slight difference. Do you see the impact? How this fist is incredibly square and flat. Let me try and get that there. This is a typical male fist. It locks in. It's tight. It's this very blocky impact flat. Okay? This is the way a typical female fist works. Now, I have nerve damage or tendon damage. It could just be genetic. No one's really sure. But I happen to be blessed with a male fist and a female fist. The ligaments in the female fist are in such a way that a wrap shot, for example, is very natural. But if you try straight locked in punching motions with a female fist, not only will it be damaging, it will be very painful. Excellent. See, this is something I love to see. I want crosstalk. Crosstalk is how we're going to excel as a guild. And that's not selling your books. I'm not here to sell my books. My books fuel this. My projects fuel this. Setting up this sort of weekly online convention where sword masters of different styles and instructors and students can all just sit around and talk about the issues that apply. So yeah, I have my things I plan to talk about if they come up, and then I have my things to talk about if I get good feedback like you guys are giving, and you guys are giving solid feedback this week. So cool. Now, I am again going to say, record yourself drilling, record yourself practicing, especially if you're doing an instruction. Not necessarily for dissemination. I mean, if you want to disseminate it, you want opinions, maybe you want a YouTube channel, that's one thing. But record it so you can go back and see how you did. I find the recorded practices, wonderful diagnostic tools. And there's very few things as good as sitting in front of the big screen in my living room, going to the YouTube channel and going, okay, I did this with Jim, did this with Trey, done this with a lot of people. Let's watch the bouts. What are we seeing? What are you doing that works? What are you doing that doesn't? Am I, am I killing you? Are you killing me? What works? Because when you get past learning the basics, when you've built from the ground up this is how I'm going to move, this is how I'm going to block, this is how I'm going to play. Once you've learned the grammar of the sentence structure of the conversation that is about and that's a really great. And please, anyone who has questions to Eastern Arts, don't hesitate to ask me. If I don't know the answer, I will know by next week. Yep, that's how we roll. Reviewing what you do will help you get better. And don't be afraid to watch bouts. Looking at you can look at HEMA bouts. There's a lot of Guy Windsor has channels. I never want to be somebody's sole perspective on swordplay. I do like to be somebody's initial. That makes me very happy because I can give a very strong foundation. That's sort of my specialty. And certainly when somebody comes into my organization locally, like physically, somebody's at my door. Hi, Nick. Yeah, we talked. I'm coming over. We're having practice, etc. Which, when this COVID stuff finally settles down, will happen again. I can go, cool. Let's talk about conventions. Let's talk about things. Then we're going to record it. We're going to spar. Even if you don't want it out on YouTube, let's look it over. Now, I prefer to share it because that gets attention for the channel, and that's how I advertise my books. But you understand. Okay, cool. And that's how I learn how people fight, what they do, what they're about. That's how the videos that were shot, and it's tragic that one of them was lost, for Sword Sage's channel. Wonderful, wonderful East meets West stuff. We've had a couple of bouts like that. I see, it's funny. People talk about Shadversity, but they don't talk about Guy Windsor, and that drives me nuts. Because Shad is very much is it hype? There's a lot of sarcasm. There's a lot of he's fun online, but if you want quality training, you need to look elsewhere. He's almost a self-aware parody. I'm not sure. Sort of like that Dust Tactics guy. I really don't know, and I would love a chance to meet him and just talk about his long weapon fetish and lack of encumbrance rules. But that's neither here nor there. And I do, I for what he does and what he is, I get it. And if you want to, Matt Easton at Skull Gladiatoria, I'll talk about him. The Metatron, another neat YouTuber. These are people you can get good materials from. There's a fellow who does Ido discussion. I can't remember his name. It's not Shogo Says Everything. I'll have to look it up again. But a really neat guy. And that's what you want to do. You want to look and find and read and view with a critical eye. And you want to read and view styles that match your own. If you are really barking down the great sword, longsword tree, I'm not going to lie, that's not really my bread and butter. I can make the weapon go, but it's not my specialty and it's not my preference. At least as normally presented. I think certain weapons fit people's style. I am much more a one-handed dual wield kind of guy. So in like Skyrim logic, that's the guy I would be comfortable talking to. Ooh. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but I linked today's podcast in the Facebook group. He talked to a female Wing Chun practitioner who also makes wooden trainers. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'll have to look into that. I literally was shopping most of the day out of necessity. Um, and that requires a bit of travel from where I live. So that was what I was doing. But I will look into that. That should be fascinating. Now I am a sort of nut, but I'm a training nut, and I've realized I'm the guy who collects trainers in front of swords instead of lifesteal, and I usually collect styles. I like to play with them, see if I like them, see if not, assess it, and as I get healthier, I'm going back in because it's very funny. We're talking about training from the ground up. Oh my! At these, at some point, I want to have a chat about Eastern and Western siege tactics when I get to rewriting suitable arrangement. Ooh, oh, thesis, you are going. I'm going to tell you, having in-depth conversations with Cindy Kep about her writing and how to discuss how to employ martial arts is one of the most fun I think I've ever had. Um. Oh no. I would post a link to her page, but YouTube doesn't like links. Oh, thesis, my dear friend. I am off camera in my Facebook right now, and what? Let me just go here. I don't know if you can find this cheaper, but I do want to put the link. Copy. This is the link to Toby Beck's The Armored Rose. I won't put that up there. And if you are kind enough to simply direct message me the link through Facebook, and oh, you'll forward it to Cindy? Cool. Um, if you want to share any links that are relative to what we're doing, by all means. Message me direct, and I'll put them in the chat. And if people want to follow through that, they certainly can. Now, as you can see, my links are, of course, scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And I am planning a lot of writing and stuff, assuming I don't have medical issues. So that's coming down the pipe. Now, I really want to encourage an East meets West Day, and I really want to encourage uh, a ladies forum. One thing I really want to set up, and it may be in person, it may be panel style. I'm trying to piece together with the assorted lovely ladies that I know a panel day where we talk about sword fighting from a woman's perspective. And I think having somebody who's got a lot to say and a lot of experience, plus somebody who maybe has less, could be, and in different styles, could be very beneficial. So that's something I want to work towards for 2022. I just have to reach out to the right people. Unfortunately, a lot of the people I work with tend to be a bit on the introverted side. So let me see if I can find that. Go here. No, I don't want that. I want that. Give that a minute. Come here. Go groups. Let me see if I can find this link that. Here we go. I'm sorry to. This should. God, it's monstrous. Let me see. Okay, that is a huge link. Let me do this and see if I can't. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm good. Wow, it does not. It does not like me right now. Okay, hold on. Copy. There we are. Oh, jeez. We had a I guess that's as short as it's going to come out. Wow, and we're in the realm of glitch, folks. One of those links should work, and if not, the computer just bloody well hates me. I'm not even surprised that it's glitching that hard, but we'll make it work. So we're just gonna skip all again. Girly power can take advantage of lower center of gravity, change directions on a dime, and leave 9 cents change. Absolutely. Um, the trick is not to meet force with force. If you know, for example, if a man closes with a woman, the wrap shot is going to be faster and more than trying to struggle. Throw the shot past, it will. I need something with a little bit more reach than Knifey. Let me see. Throw the shot, snap, and hit. So target, hit. Okay. This is a wrap shot. They don't like to teach women wrap shots because they're very good at it. It's an more experienced style. Likewise, I've seen several glaive fighters. No, Johnny, that was me trying to share a link and things. Hey, okay, Johnny, I don't know if you know about this. Hold on. I have 2 secret martial arts. And today I'm live before you. I will give you 2 of my secret martial arts. The first secret martial art is run like beach. Run like you're on a beach. That is where you apply, maximum thrust to your tactical disengagement. It is a major tactical advance to the rear. Thank you. I will see if I can get a proper link to come up because I was trying to bring it up and it was glitching. Boop. Is it miles long? Or is it going to be groovy? Is it even going to open? No messages found. Oh, stop that. There we go. We're getting there. Let's see. 3 sections down. Okay. Sorry. Copy link address. Let's see if this works. Paste. What? No. Okay. We're going to do this because for some reason Facebook is giving me all the gobbledygook in the known world. So this we will not allow. It is not on me. It is on Facebook being shady. I don't condone shadiness of that breed. Anyhow, wave.com. That. Oh. That should be the link. Apparently there was a glitch, and we'll go from there. But that's the link that Thesis wanted shared, so it is shared. Now, boop, me, just me. The second martial art was born many, many moons ago. I was a very young, very thin man at the time. I don't think I was even living in my first home, but I was in a park near it. And there was a practice going on, and there was a gentleman. I'll never forget it. A good guy. His name was Gar, Gar, and Gar was actually a two-chuck, a very, very powerfully built member of a slightly more extreme, more aggressive martial art, loosely based on some of the Gorian novels, with some of the difficulties that inclines. But he also was one of those people who authors would write, he moved like a predator. And he had this habit of taking his shirt off like he did it for a living. Anyway, he was doing his thing. And my girlfriend at the time, now wife of nearly 20 years, is watching and talking because they're old friends. And my buddy comes up to me, goes, "Aren't you a little worried?" I went, "Nah, I could take him." Dude, 6'4" and built like Jason Momoa. And my scrawny butt goes, "I could take him." He goes, "How?" I said, "Secret martial art. Wagan Fu." My buddy looks at me and says, "Wagan Fu?" I say, "Yes, Wagan Fu. Where you wait for honorable opponent in a Walmart parking lot and run his ass over with station wagon." Anyway, sorry, horrible jokes, but once in a while we need them. She does amazing. Getting back on topic, she does amazing work. Eastern weapon, wooden men, and she does. Oh, wooden men. I know what you're talking about. And does custom work. Cool. I'm all about promoting creators. That's why that's why I've gotten into the relationship I have with Purple Heart Armory. And yeah, Cindy Cap got it. I got it. I got a smile from Cindy Cap. Oh, Cindy, one of these days I will tell you the world's worst joke that my uncle told me. It's vulgar, mildly, but worth it. But not here. It's a little off topic. Anyway, getting back. So that's cool. I'm all about supporting things. I'm trying to track down weapons that simulate the weapons that either I own, e.g., something like Knifey, because again, a minimalist guard cooking knife, you might as well train to learn how to use. This one is deliberately cut off a bit shorter than most because I want to train myself to slightly overpenetrate. I don't want to hesitate. But is a good idea, understanding what your reach is with something relatively short. But the other thing is, I do come from a SCA fencing background, and certain blade lengths will always feel very comfortable to me. So one-handed light weapons in that sweet, sweet spot from about 28 to about 38, leaning toward 30 to 36 if we're narrowing it down most days of the week. That's sweet. That is, that's like butter. I know that range. I can work with it. But another is that 17-inch range. Now, so a 17-inch light trainer, where would I find something like that? Well, what about this? This, folks, is I'm not even saying that word right here. This is not something I'm going to try to run. Barnwehr? I need one of my German speakers to translate that. Dagger trainer, but that is a 17-inch blade. Minimalist rigging, and that light swell of the hilt looks like maybe it would be comfortable. And it's, just sub 20. So it is a very tempting trainer I've been looking at. I'd love to know what you guys' opinions on this are, because I always want to know what you guys' opinions on things are. But oh, that's so much better. Oh, and I am apparently back. Can I go here? No. We're back again. This is colorful. We're having one of those days. But let me let me get back to that video, that image. I think a training knife like this can be very, very extraordinary, very beneficial. There we are. In that, I think this is a length we're going to find. Oh, yes, Cindy Cap. Make sure you have really good gloves. And it should be. You need good gaunts and excellent control to fight with something like this. I prefer, obviously, you know me, I love weapons that are a little more guarded than that. But knowing that, we got an interesting question. That's off topic, but let's rock and roll with it. And good point, Cindy. Foxy's concerned with Chung Chung being too force against force. How can I show? I assume you mean her. That this is just as much internal as external. Okay. Putting the cart before the horse. She needs to learn to move, learn her reach, learn what feels right with her body. Tai Chi is going to give that very minimalist. And the problem, there is a chance you are teaching her from your perspective as a large man. From the perspective of a smaller person, especially a woman, you're going to get one shot maybe, and it's got to count, and you're not going to be able to block anything. So I think, especially when you're training her, it's not about worrying about the internal versus external. That's a very high concept. Right now, you just need to teach her how to move and get used to herself, because Foxy probably thinks she's clumsy. And she's probably not clumsy. She's just not trained in where her body is, and she's not focusing on paying attention. Usually that's the case. Very rarely are people mechanically clumsy. I'm not saying I can't trip on thin air. I mean, we all do it. But I think, especially with her, a comment like it's too force against force. You have to tailor it, okay? So you're either going to make sure your blocks are reinforced, very pushing up against the body to reinforce because you don't have the forearm strength, or focusing on voids and then coming back from a an outside perspective. A lot of martial arts for a small person is learning the art of nope. Nope is a verb. I have noped right out of places. I need to put my bracers back on. But, oh, God. There we go. You don't want, if she's feeling it's too force on force, she's scared of getting hurt. And it might be too aggressive for her fighting personality. You'll have to assess what kind of okay, let me explain. I tend to definitely be a nope. Like, the running joke is I would fight like Aang if I could. No. Bonk, yes, no, I'm out. I half the time I fight like a fiddler crab, half the time I fight like a crawdad. Just whoop. Okay, let's see this. Mostly I want to teach her Wing Chun because the very limited body movements and its close quarters, so her height issue isn't as but her height isn't as much an issue. No, I see your point. How do I put this? I think worrying about it, other than condensed in, is probably. I think she's working just right now. If she's just starting, make sure she's standing right. She's moving in such a way she's not going to fall over. Wing Chun may not be. It may be too aggressive for her right now. But if you use Tai Chi from if you use Tai Chi combatively, let me process this. It ends up moving a lot like Aikido, okay? Where you're going to end up doing a lot of redirects. You're not going to match force with force. You're going to either void around, counter, flow with, redirect, things like that. That I think right now, to get comfortable, teach her the yin, and as you're teaching her the yin, the yang will start to counter. Does that make sense? I really would need to see how your training is going to look to see what I see from the outside. So that's one of those, when you guys get frisky, shoot me a clip and I'll tell you what's going on. But a lot of it's probably far more internal than the spiritual internal. It's mental. And it's probably that she's not sure she can do it. So I think because that's a very Wing Chun being too force against force. I can see that. Wing Chun can get very stout, very counter aggressive. Bang bang. And yeah, for body type, I totally see where you're going with this. And the fact that it's very much an upper body boxery, as a guy whose legs don't kick, I totally see the advantage. It might be, the one thing is, you can study Tai Chi a long time before you integrate the Wing Chun. See, Cindy Cap says, I'm told by a short as I am gal who does BJJ that scrawny little girl need to stay out of range. Yes, zone 3 or zone 1 are really close up. Yes, this is the point. The mid-range for a small fighter is dead. Okay? The mid-range is absolute death because they own you. At the extreme, out of their range, you can void and you can do bad things to their hand and forearm. Okay? Or if they're coming, that gives you time to redirect things to make you almost have to lunge straight. You need to get through zone 2 in the, like she said, as fast as possible for your counter or facilitate them. So that's the punch. You're under the punch and you're coming up and you're full extension into the armpit. Okay, so bam, bam. Table your shield a little mentally. Bonk, shield up, follow through with the thrust. That approach, out, side flank, bam, side of a hinge joint. That's where you're going to do better. Or you have to be the kind of person who can jump straight in and be like flurry, 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 and cover that distance off their line of movement. Because when you're talking about a big guy is like a pickup truck, okay? You can outrun them at distance, but you can't outrun them over the short area. Because a big guy can really, their body's made to explode that initial burst to get their mass going. Does that make sense? You got to figure somebody who's, I'm 300 pounds. I am fast over the first 2 steps. I mean, like, fast. Because I have to be. I have to be able to. There's all this breaking the inertia muscle. That's where you need to be. And that's what I said. She's worrying about 3rd grade exams in kindergarten. Basic forms, Tai Chi, basic wushu stances, wonderful. as half of those forms and stances are going to teach her stuff she doesn't know she's teaching her body till she needs to do it. That is the purpose of forms. It's it's establishing the muscles and the muscle memory. Because the forms will, I've done this, bam, 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 bam. You're going to have the 1, 2 before you've thought about 1, 2, 3. It's all going to spindle up. So, Foxy, if you're still watching, hun, don't worry about it. And I hope you don't think we've been talking to you like you're not in the room. Don't get scared of the extreme stuff, because the aggression, all that's down the line. That's further. First, you're standing, you're safe. You know when learning your ranges. Just know when they can and can't. Oh, hello. Oh, God. So good to hear from Ryan Coker. Per Renaissance German tradition, before engaging, you should either be one full passing step away from your opponent, so your opponent won't engage easily. If you don't want to, ignore that either. No, you're fine. You're fine. Ignore that either. You should be one full passing step away from your opponent so they can't engage on you easily if you don't want them to. Yes, that's playing the range game. Now, the other nice thing about most big guys is most big guys telegraph. If they're going to throw a punch because they're big, you can see it chambering, you can see it coming. So that gives you time to do things. A lot of times, it's not be there when that punch or kick or strike or sword thrust is where it is, as a smaller, weaker person. That's why I teach deflectional parries over oppositional. Okay. Let me see if I have shtick. I have shtick. Cool. Oops, I missed shtick. Shtick. Okay. This is my cut down on the grip. I took all the stuff off D-ring. I love this thing. Okay. Blows coming in. If it's coming, I can angle like this so it deflects. Or I can straight arm it. Now, you can combine that later where you straight arm and flow. But you don't, for those of us who aren't terribly strong, you don't want to catch and try to match strength versus strength. Now it says, I think we overdid it a couple ago because I knew we hadn't been practicing, because I knew it when we'd been practicing for an hour. And that could be it. New students and people who are recovering from, you have to go through physical therapy rules. Eventually you learn what good pain versus bad pain is. But for the first start, it's you do it till it's uncomfortable, not hurting, and then you stop, even if you're jazzed, even if you're happy. It takes such a long time, and hi, Ryan, I think I said hi, but if not, it takes such a long time to build the stamina to be able to do what we do, to sword fight, to just stand and be that aware, because your brain is running at hopefully a large amount of energy is going to, I'm paying attention to what's around me. Optimally, your brain is watching what's around you as your body responds without the brain having to tell it what to do. That's what we train for. So it may have just been a case of overdoing it. Hi, Feline. We're about an hour in. I want to take a moment to remind folks the Historical Fencing Guild is brought to you by the Simple Sword and the Fighting Axe, both available through Amazon at www.amazon.com/author/Nicholas Stockard. That's me. Anyway, and by our amazing Patreon members, without whom I couldn't afford to buy the trainers to review and some of the other things I'm planning as my health improves. Now, We have, getting back to this. Yeah, we've got Frog G, we've got Cindy Kep, we've got Flying Feline, we've got amazing folks in the house. To do what we're doing, we need to keep the. I saw I got some sales. Tell me what you think about them. Oh, Cindy Kep, yes, I really need to uh bring up some more of my Big Stompy Robots books. I keep giving them to local libraries for their kids programs, and it's the one I have on hand, so then I have to go down and get another copy. But yes, the Big Stumpy Robots books are a great way to help fund what we're doing. What do we have? The pain. The problem with her is the pain doesn't hit until hours after. She was able to sit in horse stance for a bit through. Okay. Got a couple problems there. One, aftercare is real important. Two, pre-care. Hydrate. Don't be afraid. If you're okay, check with your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. This is just what I do. Speak with a medical professional for this. So caveat along that advice. But I'm a big fan of taking an anti-inflammatory before I hurt myself, which actually helps mitigate the damage and bounce back. You need to learn to process much less then, because what you should be doing is figuring out the level of amount of focus training time or stance time or whatever you're doing that you can do with no negative after effect. So if it takes, especially when you're doing something from a position of physical therapy, you guys don't know, but to get my hands working, I've had to do occupational therapy. And I've had to do these exercises to be this smooth over and over. It started with 1 or 2 reps, and I had to go all the way up. All these different little things called nerve slides. For a while there, I'd be lucky to get through one set, and it would be very clunky. But you work it, and things loosen up. It's hard to slow down a student who's having fun. But if they hurt themselves, there aren't. That's exactly my point, thesis. It's the same logic. See, people get funny about that subject, but concepts like consent, being aware of when you are, how do I put this? When you are the instructor, you are in a role of dominance and control. As you are in that role, it is your job to see to the safety and comfort relative of the person you're training. Because right now, we're not even talking about things like sparring and calibration. We are just talking about you're not overwhelming them, you're not overpowering them, you're not over intimidating them, and you're getting the feedback. You're also not letting them get so into it that they can't handle it. It's a lot of responsibility. But if you are familiar with the kind of terminology and what we're hinting at, I think you should be familiar with the mindset. Hey, thanks for coming by. I hope we didn't lose anybody with content. Thanks for coming by. Guys, hit the like and share before you leave, okay? I'm running into a point where I've had to explain to people that consent is key. That's whether you're engaged in a sexual relationship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship, whether you're in a social relationship, okay? Consent at the end of the day is key. And not just that, but boundaries. Now, when you are in charge and informed, and somebody, especially parents out there, understand you have to set boundaries for folks sometimes who won't set boundaries for themselves. And it takes trust and communication to be able to get to that point. But that's a big point. Okay. Without TMI, I get what you're saying. So you have to watch for the over eagerness. Because when you have somebody who's excited, fire up, teach me, I want to go, it's really fun to go, okay, let's go. And lose track that this has been a long time. And it's funny because I'm going through this process right now internally. Like, happy brain's like, yeah, I'm starting to feel better. I can move. I can think in straight lines. I'm doing better because of the meds. Things are working right. My tremors are gone. My knees are like, dude, you haven't done this much in months. Ah. So it's finding that delicate balance. It's even more important when you're training someone else. Wish I was. Oh, in the woods. Okay. Thought you were like, I wish you were either having a good stream or bouncing. Because one, I hope your streams are all good, feline, and two, bouncing. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. But a lot of it is just, it's weird. There's this whole, I could almost do a graph where it's exciting. It's exciting. Oh gosh, I'm doing forms. Oh, it's misery. And then it reaches a point where you're not thinking about it. And then after you've been doing it for years, there's a point where it becomes exciting to do it because you're fine tuning and you're tweaking and you understand why and how you're doing it. So give yourself time and give yourself credit. Okay. You are doing very, very well. And I should have known, Johnny. I've seen your job description. That is a subject you are thoroughly versed in discussion, and that's the thing. If you're going to, when you're training, that's the hard part. Oh God, what people don't, there were things that people didn't see when I was regularly running practices in the before the unspeakable times. They didn't see me spending an hour getting stretched out because I'd set up everything. I'd get the gear I wanted to fight with, and I'd do slow stretches and slow drills. And I'd see, okay, I can do this. I can't do this. Today, this is hanging up. How am I feeling? How's the heat? Evaluating for me. And then from where I'm at that point, expounding to my students. I'll never forget there was a time, it was practice night, and I'm out drilling and it's raining. Nobody showed. So I drilled because it was my time to drill. And if I didn't get at that time enough of the physicality, I'd be sore afterwards. It's hard, but when you do this, your body wants it, it needs it. And when you can't, you actually hurt a bit from not. It's how I would regulate a lot of my anxiety, a lot of physical stress. So oh God, I may be calling this shorter than I thought. My voice is trying to cut out. I'm getting the old man gravel voice, but air fronts must be changing again. Anyway, the situation to do as a teacher, you have to be already stretched out when you're asking your students to stretch. And after they're done, you got to do cool down. And in my case, it would be after everybody left. I had to clean up all the field and put everything away and get the lights down. But yeah, the endorphins be evil like that. Yes. Yes. Endorphins, man. I'm having fun. Ah! Yeah, there. Oh, oh. Forgot. You know what? If nobody minds, actually, it's kind of hitting pretty hard, and I have an hour before the med hit before I can take the med, and that's when it all cuts out. So basically, you're literally watching in real time as all the pain starts coming back. I think I will take Johnny's suggestion, and I will be just calling it early tonight. I've got about an hour. We'll see. Once I get adjusted, I think I'll be able to do better. But I'm sweating through my hat, so I'm gonna take you up on that, Johnny. I think that's just like I was telling you guys. You got to know your limits, and I'm getting flush. I can see my color changing. My throat's starting to cause trouble. So I think I'm just gonna give you guys an adieu. Um, I'm hoping to have more scripted videos up throughout the week. I will be here next week, and I will hopefully that's after the MRI, so we'll see how I'm doing. Other than that, we're one step at a time. Guys, thank you so much. It is such a privilege and an honor to be able to talk with you guys about your training, maybe provide some help, what small wisdoms I've acquired. If this is of any help to you guys, please like, share, subscribe. Oh, y'all are so good to me. Like, share, subscribe. Until then, guys, keep your guard up, do your drills, be kind to yourself and each other, and as always, support your local sword master. I'll see you next week.